Right now, I think getting young people engaged is really important, and people born since 1970 are much less engaged in the political system. When we segment them, we call the idealistic youth the new Aquarians. They're great. You know, they want to start NGOs, or they want to join an NGO, and political parties seem kind of anachronistic to them. But if that's the way they're going to go, then we're going to have a different kind of democracy, only getting together and doing demonstrations when things are really bad. So let's not give up on representative democracy, but it's not the only thing. And so I think that's what we need in the 21st century, is some blending of direct democracy and of representative democracy. And that's, I think, what we're hoping young people get that message. It's great that you're here. I know you're in elementary and secondary schools and trying to mobilize those young people who are watching what the older people are doing with their democracy. And what I'm going to do today is give you an overview of what I've been doing in the polling world. In 1976, we began a survey program called Focus Canada. And it was designed to measure public opinion on important public policy issues and social trends in Canada. We did quarterly surveys for a very long time, until, you know, for about, how many years am I saying? Over 33 years. In 2010, the way the thing operated was it's syndicated. So we do these quarterly surveys. We do a report called the Focus Canada Report, and it's subscribed to typically by government departments and agencies, provincial governments, municipal governments, lobby groups, and that sort of thing. But the federal government, how many years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, through an edict from the central agency, the Prime Minister's office or the Privy Council office, precluded departments and agencies in the government from subscribing to syndicated survey research. So this made a big dent in our business plan, and so we kind of stopped doing Focus Canada for a while. And then I determined I'd started an institute, the Environics Institute, to give voice to those not normally heard from, asking questions not normally asked. And we surveyed Canadian Muslims in Canada. We did a big urban Aboriginal people study a couple of years ago. And we have other projects, including one in Israel and Palestine that we want to do. But with the termination of the Focus Canada service, I made a determination then that another group that we probably needed to hear from were the Canadian people through the medium of survey research. So I've continued the program. We want to provide credible, independent public opinion research on issues that are important to Canadians. This study that I'm presenting today is a survey that was done last fall. I'm hoping to do it again next fall and the fall after that. CBC is supporting this research. The Canadian Opinion Research Archive, which is in Queen's University, my alma mater, is also supporting it, and I'm hoping that others will support the program as well. So research methods similar to tracking, so the numbers, the methodology we've used are consistent over the years. 2,000 Canadians are surveyed. Now, of course, this is, imagine, 2,000 Canadians still are willing to answer the telephone, cell phone, and so on. And you say, okay, this is really important stuff, a lot of topics of public policy that you might be interested in. And when they figure out that you're not trying to sell them something, then they often do answer these crazy questions. And when you see the topics covered, you can see how much time actually people would have to spend with our interviewers to answer all these questions. So this is last fall. We did this latest survey. You're going to see tracking as well, like surveys done previously. And there's even some comparative data in there as well. So I really like to know, how are these things changing over time? This is science, right? Is tracking over time and comparative. How are these guys different from the Americans or the Europeans and so on? And that's what I hope I'm bringing to the presentation this afternoon. So we have a range of public policy issues, as I've said. Some of these items go back to 1976. And actually, the Focus Canada database is the only one that does do this. And with the cancellation of the compulsory long form by the federal government, we are going to actually lose some significant capacity to look at social change in our country. And if we actually decide that the science and the Enlightenment were tragic errors, and that we should go back to a religious conviction or anecdote as a basis for public policy, then we're headed in a very good direction. I'm not partisan at all. I was a progressive conservative at Queen's University in 1965-69, and up at the Royal Ontario Museum beside Tyrannosaurus Rex and Brontosaurus is progressive conservative man and woman, and Joe Clark and I and a few others will be proudly displayed there someday. So we have 135 questions. The topics, look at this. So people are on the phone, you know, with really important things on TV, I'm sure, to watch, but we say, could you take 20 minutes to talk about the economy and our standard of living, the Canadian identity and the symbols. Well, we're going to talk about the Federation and language. They're already getting tired just thinking about institutions and governance, healthcare, environment, Aboriginal peoples, immigration, multicultural, crime, justice, social issues, Canada's role in the world. I think after you do this, you probably should get an Order of Canada for just staying on the phone with our interviewers. But that's what we decided we wanted to do. And the reason I want to do it is that I want it known. I want when people are doing expert commentary on our newspapers or on their blogs, and they want to know what people think about, you know, crime. Is it increasing, decreasing, or staying about the same? Or whether it's safe to walk in your neighborhood after dark. I want to know whether that's changed or not. And I've got a slide up here that it's just astounding. And the perception of feeling safe and walking in your neighborhood after dark hasn't changed at all in 30 years. Has Canada changed in 30 years? You bet. So it's a non-finding that is astoundingly significant. Anyway, there's more of this stuff here, so stay tuned.